My name is Alan Laing, Senior Beef Extension Officer, and in this session we talk about genetic tools that can increase the reproductive performance of your herd. So in setting the scene, we start with saying that reproduction is the single most important factor affecting the economics and profitability of beef breeding herds in Northern Australia. For this reason, it is worthwhile making use of BBSE, Bull Breeding Soundness Evaluation, and genetic tools that will improve the reproductive performance and take your herd forward. BreedPlan is one of the tools that can do this. It's a system conducted by the Agricultural Business Research Institute that evaluates the genetic merit of cattle. It's Australian technology and it is world class. It takes into account heritability and the performance of relatives. It allows comparisons between animals born in different seasons or years, and it produces estimated breeding values called EBVs for cattle for a range of important production traits. And here we have some symbols that from some of our tropical breeds that are in Group BreedPlan. EBVs, they're a prediction of an animal's genetic merit for a particular trait relative to other animals of a similar genotype. They allow a greater rate of improvement than can be afforded by simple measurements alone, because they allow for comparisons between animals. Here we have a snip of some data from an Angus Group BreedPlan animal, just representing some of the traits and some of the information that's available. We also have fertility EBVs, where the use of these fertility EBVs is an effective method of raising the base level of the breeder herd's fertility. So they take into account scrotal size, days to calving, gestation length, and calving ease. Scrotal size EBVs, these are an estimate of the genetic difference between animals in scrotal circumference at 400 days of age. Has been shown to be a very important trait in being a predictor of progenies when they reach puberty. It provides an important indication of the sire's genetic merit for the several important fertility traits, including puberty. Testicular relationships are very important, and increased scrotal circumference has a favourable relationship with female fertility by having earlier age at puberty of progeny. It represents the potential for increased percent normal spermatozoa and earlier return to estrus after calving. All of these point to a more profitable breeder herd, producing more dollars in your pocket. Days to calving EBVs, these identify the sires whose daughters calve earlier in the season compared to those that calve later or do not calve at all. Females with shorter or negative days to calving EBVs also tend to be those that show early puberty as heifers and earlier return to estrus after calving. Gestation length EBVs, these are an estimate of genetic differences between animals in the number of days from the date of conception to the calf birth date. It's expressed in days and are calculated from the mated date and birth date records. For calves conceived by either AI or hand mating. Paddock mating records are not suitable. Need to know the day the cow was served and conceived. Shorter or negative gestation length is generally associated with reduced birth weight, an increased calving ease, and increased breeding performance amongst the dams. Calving ease EBVs, particularly important where herds are calving at 2-year-old. The direct calving ease is the ability of a sire's calves to be born unassisted from 2-year-old heifers, and the calving ease for daughters is an ability of a sire's daughters to calve a 2-year-old without assistance. So on the one hand, we look at the sire's ability to produce calves out of any cows that don't require assistance, and then what his daughters will do when they're producing calves. In both cases, higher, more positive calving ease EBVs are more favourable. Other things to consider: birth weight EBVS. It is one of the biggest genetic contributing factors causing calving difficulty in heifers. So if we take notice of it, they will reduce calving difficulties. Bull Breeding Soundness Evaluation. We need to take notice of the morphology or percent normal. The standards are greater than 70% normal for single sire or for 2-year-old bulls when they're starting out their life, and greater than 50% for multiple sire mated older bulls. Bulls with high percent normal are likely to have daughters that reach puberty earlier and return to estrus sooner after calving. For more information, there's a session on breeding and genetics for fertility in the James Lawrence Pavilion at Beef 2012 on Wednesday the 9th of May from 11:30 to 1:30. You can get more information from the FutureBeef website, www.futurebeef.com.au, or from your local FutureBeef Extension Officer.